Well, hello again. Welcome to Vision Media. My name's Stefan Senna. I wanted to talk to you and just discuss, I guess the main subject is that about the most sophisticated, amazing and complex technology. It's pretty windy out here. Technology that we have available to us, we've always had available to us. Uh-oh, the wind's gonna show my high forehead. I've had that since high school. But here's a beautiful sun peeking through. Now you help me keep an eye out for Bigfoot, shall you? Or any bears or wandering deer that go by, as in the other video. But anyway, we live in an amazing universe. There's really just no words to describe how incredible the universe is, and we see with such a limited lens. You know, our consciousness, our brains are paying attention to what we can see, hear, taste, touch, and feel. And, you know, it's all helpful for informing us how to make it through this physical life, this illusion that we call the human life. But the universe is something extremely, you know, there's no way I can really describe it. It's just so incredible. And I've been, you know, my consciousness have been non-focused on this body, or, you know, it's labeled, it's called an out-of-body experience or a near-death experience, whatever the heck you want to call it. It's just our consciousness shifting perspectives. And the things that I saw were indescribable. There's you know, there's a movie called Contact with Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, he's in that. There's a scene in that where Jodie Foster's character, toward the end, you know, she travels through this machine they made, and she ends up on this ocean shore where she ends up meeting what she thinks is her father, but ends up to be just a being of consciousness from another dimension. And when I saw that movie, it really had an emotional impact for me, because it was a reminder of one of the things I had experienced years ago. It was very similar to that I tried to paint. But there's really no, you know, even that is just a fabrication, a lens that we are looking through. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is that along the way, because we experience so many different things, you know, of every dimension on this planet, you know, from being a kid to being an adult to being married, unmarried, kids and no kids, college, jobs, all these different things, health issues, you know, experiences, rock climbing, you know, boating, biking, flying. All these things are they're pretty, you know, diverse and pretty amazing, but they also tie us into, you know, focusing on them. And being able to step back and appreciate a bigger picture, I guess, or I know it's something that's pretty much impossible for us to comprehend how much um, majesty is around us all the time. Even nature itself is so majestic, it can't even be put into words. How many thousands of painters and musicians, sculptors and photographers have tried to capture the essence of it, and it never even comes close. That's the one thing, you know, as many times as I've tried to illustrate different types of different parts of nature, there's just no way I ever come close. You know, I'm just practicing pushing paint around. And yes, it might look nice, or it might have a nice feel, you know, just as somebody else's, but it's only when you're actually in nature that you feel the majesticness of it. You can't even see it on film. Like when you're watching this film right now, you're only catching part of it. You know, it's digitally interpreted and reinterpreted on your computer through zeros and ones. And when I'm here, standing out here, my focus is on talking to you, while part of my focus is interpreting what I'm standing next to, and that's this nature around me. But yet it's only when I quiet my mind and sit with it a long time that I'll even come close to comprehending it. And I don't know how many of us, when we reach the end of our lives, regret not spending enough time in nature, or not really appreciating what life is around us. But if there's a possibility that we can be more open and interested in the beauty around us, then I think it's going to translate to us feeling better. It's going to translate to our relationships being deeper. It's going to translate to us enjoying our work more, or our education. It's going to translate to having a deeper feeling for everything around us, a more accepting nature of what is, and less energy put on trying to react to it, track it, compete with it, outcompete it, whatever. Those are all they're really just dogma. And we can learn to leave dogma at the doorstep, because dogma just leads to doom. The doom of our dreams, the doom of open-mindedness, the doom of hope. When our beliefs that may just only be inherited or, you know, superficial, that don't really matter, you know. There's a lot that we focus on that just doesn't matter. And what if we were to focus on just being kind, on our hair looking nicer in a video? And that's a perfect example, you know. Our looks, our lives physically will fade. They'll disappear. Our essence will move on. But the relationship we have with ourselves and nature, but especially those around us, that is an investment that not only pays out in the present moment, but for all time. That communication and exchange of ideas and love and compassion, it goes on. All beings learn from it. As soon as we leave here, that information is translated to everybody. You know, you've heard of the Akashic records, and that's just a label. It's just a label. The operating system, the greater consciousness that has created all of this, that is always creating all of this, it logs everything. It remembers everything, and not from a judgment standpoint, not from a dogma standpoint, but just from an information standpoint. It may not record everything, as I've heard Thomas Campbell speak of, and he has much greater experience regarding this than I do, but it may forget, on October 3rd at, 1967, if you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's not going to really track that, but it's going to remember most of that day, of what you did, how you're feeling, what energy you exchanged with your parents, your siblings, whatever it was. The thing is we're living right at the point of creativity. That this amazing field of consciousness that we're standing right in the exact moment of creation, every single moment. And if we're not in appreciation, and if we're not in presence, then we're we're just in our heads, our egos telling us what to do. And that's okay. That's pretty normal as a human being. I do that all the time. But more and more, I try to circle back to live in the moment. Because you never know what's going to happen. If you're a positive person, I'm not saying be positive and run around and say positive things all the time. No, just be present. Just be yourself. Just be relaxed. Be okay with who you are. And be kind. That's it. You don't have to, march to some beat and write things down over and over. I'm always going to be good. I'm always going to be good. I'm always going to be good. Because that's a sign that that you're worried that you're not. If you're good, if you're in the moment, there's nothing really to talk about, but there's everything to be present with. And let life surprise you. Make plans, move forward, think constructive thoughts. But life will surprise you because you're riding on the wave of its very core root nature, and that is to be present, to think constructively, to allow your feelings to come up so that you can be conscious of them, and to let go so that you can return to the moment. When I went to work this morning, I worked on some cabinets, and part of it was fun and part of it wasn't, and that's fine. But I just did what I needed to do. I listened to some wise words by somebody on YouTube, and I talked to myself of how to integrate that understanding so that I can create practical, things that will help my life become better. I didn't know how the rest of the day was going to go. I didn't plan anything out. I figured, well, I'll probably go to work. I got up early this morning, about 6:30. I started writing. I wrote for 2 or 3 hours. Then I set out my to-do list for the day. I went to work, met those goals as best I could. There was a couple things I didn't finish, which is fine. I just get tired. And I'm not going to push through something unless I feel led to do that. But my point is that I didn't know where the rest of my day was going to go. I didn't even think about it. But I got a call. Somebody needed help with something mechanically. And I'm not a mechanic, but I know how to do a couple things. So I went and helped them with that. And then I was offered dinner and a piece of pie with ice cream. And the pie came heated with vanilla Haagen-Dazs on it. I mean, that's amazing. That's an incredible thing. But it was, it was an encore to the majestic performance, which was dinner. Homemade soup, grilled turkey and cheese sandwich with red peppers on it, and whatever else secret ingredients were put on there. I'll never know. I didn't want to ask. I just wanted to appreciate it. I didn't want to take it apart and try to understand it. Some things you need to take apart. You need to understand. If there's if there's something that troubles you, take it apart. Understand it. If you can't understand it, find somebody who'll help you do it. Figure out what brought everything together in that perfect sequence for that event. Take it apart piece by piece until you consciously are aware of everything. Because you put it together. Every time that I created a situation that would cause me sorrow or someone else, I knew it was up to me to take it apart so I could figure it out and put things back together in my consciousness, so I knew what the heck took me to that, what the heck brought me to that point within my own consciousness. Nothing forced me there. We're 100% responsible. I'll say it again, clearly. We are 100% responsible for our own actions and experiences. And that might sound a little brutal, but from my experience, other than things that we can't control, it's the truth. From a metaphysical standpoint, somebody can argue, well, you create everything. And I don't know. I've seen and experienced some things that I don't have an explanation for why that would happen. Why a person's born into a certain family and they experience certain things at a very young age. I don't know. Maybe I or they agreed to that before they were born. I don't know. But the thing is everything has energy or momentum. And if we can look at it and take it apart, come to understand it, come to understand the meaning we've placed on it, then we can learn from it and move forward. But that piece of pie, that vanilla ice cream, that beautiful sandwich and soup, I wasn't going to take it apart. I was just going to sit there and enjoy it. Just like I'm enjoying part of my consciousness, though I'm talking to you, is enjoying the scene directly behind me. The way the trees are moving in the breeze, the way the light is playing off the leaves and making them different colors. The way the branches change shape and size as they stretch out in different directions. The way the movement of one tree complements the movement of the other. It's all beautiful. It's all majestic. I don't need to take it apart. I don't need to know the name of those trees or the name of those plants. If you want to, go ahead. It's your choice. There's nothing wrong with that. When I was a kid, I loved memorizing the name of every animal I came to understand and draw. I've known people that know all the names of plants. Heck, I can't even pronounce half of them, let alone remember them. I know they're green. Some are pretty and some are a little less pretty based on my judgment. But they're all beautiful. You can take any one of those plants, put it under a microscope, and there's no person on this planet with all our technology and AI and all that could design and create something that sophisticated yet so simple and so incredibly beautiful. It's just, there's no way. It's not going to happen. And over the course of a life, a lot of things happen, and a lot of things will happen. Some good, some not as good. But that's pretty majestic. There's something incredibly majestic about the arc of a human life, no matter who they are. There's some that, sure, collectively we'll all shake our heads at. There's parts of our own lives we might shake our heads at. But overall, for the most part, we're loving and we're caring beings, or we learn to be. So as the sun heads down, maybe our attention to dogma and details can pass away. Maybe with this new sun tomorrow, our inspiration and appreciation and gratitude and compassion for experiencing a new day can rise. But don't push yourself with expectations. You know, when we push ourselves and think we're supposed to be something different than we are, we're trying to measure up to somebody else's ruler, we're trying to be as good as somebody else. Who are we being in that moment? We're certainly not being ourselves, unless that is our nature and that is our goal. You know, if a weightlifter wants to be able to lift whatever 800 pounds to meet some world record, to beat some guy, then that's what his passion is. That's what his core center attention is. Great, go for it. But if you wake up tomorrow and you feel a little groggy, feel a little confused, rather eat a bowl of cereal and watch some cartoons, or, you know, stay in bed longer, do some knitting, go for a swim. I don't know. I have no idea what you're going to do tomorrow morning. Maybe just recognize that you're there. that you're majestic. That there's there's only one of you, and this is your life. And you're not surrounded by a bunch of distractions and dogma and details. You're in the middle, right in the moment, present. With the most majestic thing there is. And that's consciousness. And there's no separation between the consciousness that people think of as God and you. It is all one. You just have some glasses that you're wearing right now and you're seeing through the lens of your senses, your human senses. Your smell, your touch, your taste, your sight, your hearing. That lens is not you. Your personality isn't you. You have constructed that since you were born. If you were born in another time, place, in another environment, your personality would be completely different to a great degree. You might have your genetic encoding, if that's even such a thing. You might have your perspectives that you want to learn in this life because you brought that with you. But if you were in a different environment, you would be different, from your accent to your view on money, family, all kinds of things, politics, sports, it'd all be different. But we think of our personality as something that of who we are. That's constructed. You are limitless, living a limited perspective, but not a limited life. You can do whatever you want, and nobody can stop you. Thank you.